lips of the one who could sing so sweet. And I would fly on the wings of a bird I knew could take me highest. Breathe in, breathe out. You keep me alive. You are the fire burning inside of me. You are my passion for life.
Hello, and welcome to Passion Supernatural Podcast, the podcast where we discuss what we consider to be the best soap opera ever, Passions. Every Sunday at 2 o'clock, we air exclusively here here on YouTube. We're free, people. No need to buy DirecTV, no need to buy cable, no need to buy whatevers. We are free, exclusively on YouTube, where we discuss everything that has to do with the late soap opera Passions, from the 90s to 2000, from 1999 to 2008. Hello there, I'm Joe Velasquez, host of this show. Joining me today is my lovely co-host and very good friend, Casey Metcalf. How you doing, girl?
Doing good.
That's good. That's good. It's good to hear. Glad you're with us. But also, everybody, today's a special day because we have a special guest joining us today. A lot of you might remember him as Herbert Lester, or as he went by the name Spike, the Spike Man. That's right. I can't believe we got him, everybody. Christopher Maleki. Welcome, Christopher.
Hi, guys. How are you? Thanks for having me.
Oh, we're so glad you could be here. Glad I was able to get a hold of you.
Absolutely correct. It was D.A. Dust Spike Man, but it's Spike Man.
Dust Spike Man, yes. Yep, I remember. Yep, you all remember him as what? The bartender, the abusive husband of Jessica. Yep. He's all that bad stuff.
Okay,
the guy ain't so bad in real life. Now is he, Casey?
Ain't a bad guy.
Yeah, so thank you so much for joining us. This is exactly what we needed to really get our ratings boosted. It's very hard to get a celebrity caster. The last guest appearance we had on here was a fan of the show, just a fan of the show, not in it at all. She was just a fan. So getting celebrities, like you're our third celebrity on the show. Right. We've already had Don, and we've already had Danny Woodburn. So Don Swaby cool. And Danny Woodburn. So you're our third.
Yeah, right on. Good people.
Exactly. So why don't we get started here? How'd you get the part? Do you remember by chance, even though?
Yeah, absolutely, I do. I remember very well. I was actually really sick that particular day. I remember, and I was sick, had a sore throat and everything. But you can't, you got to just use whatever you got going on. So
absolutely.
When did the reading, they said it was going to be a recurring role, and the role was going to the amount of time the character would be on would be dependent upon how well the character and the storyline went. So I initially started with 3 episodes, and I had no name. I was club owner. And I think I even wore my own clothes. They said, they told me on the first day of shooting, they said, hey, they called through the agent. They said, tell him to bring the same clothes he wore at the audition. I think I wore some leather pants, I think, at the time. I don't remember. But so I wore whatever I wore. Ended up getting the job, of course. And then after shooting for I think I did 3 episodes, I then got a call from the agent, because that's the mouthpiece for an actor. And they said, Chris, they're going shopping for you, which means I'm in. And they sent me the script, and I saw this word, it said Spike. I go, whoa, Spike. I like that name. That's cool. So that was it. And then they started shopping for me, and that means I'm in. And the storyline just blew up.
Man, there you go.
It was fantastic. Yeah.
And I think you told me or whatever that's whenever people see you on the street, it's usually Passions they remember you for, or is there something?
Huge at the time. I mean, I swear to you, it was like all the work that I've done. They remember me from like crazy things, but primarily that thing had such a reaction from fans at the time, because as we discussed off camera there, that as you know, people are devoted to that show. Any show they watch every day. So it's like they're part of it, they feel like they know you, and like any given show, but a series, but this is on every night. Right. And I loved it. People took the time, a lot of time in airports, especially in Nevada or anywhere like in the South. I'd traveled to do certain things, and people would just remember. And I always loved it when they took the time to say hello to me. It's a good thing. But a lot of people recognize me for that than just about so many things I've done in my life, but this particular thing is what they would at the time, especially just really walk up to you and have something to say. Yeah.
Like I said before, like I mentioned to you off camera, yeah. Aside from that, the only thing was just your small little role in Beverly Hills 90210. And
Yeah.
so
That was again, you get calls from, the idea for an actor is they want to do as many guest stars as you can, especially when guest spots, which is a title, which is a billing you're going to get. When pilot season comes around, casting is looking for that. They want to look for somebody who's had a lot of guest spots. This is back then, of course. There's a different world we're living in now with the auditions and how that works. But
sure.
It's never ending. Actors are always working at getting work. You know what I mean? And where I'm at now in my life, so I'm going against people with bigger names than I have for projects because the agencies that I work with, they don't want to deal with like you do a co-star on a lot of shows, you can't do them again because you've already been established. It's happened before. Certain shows will use you again. And Law and Order, for example, if you ever do one episode or I got a recurring character on there, you can't work on it ever again.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
So I'm sure maybe over the years they made well, let's do it this time. Who knows? But that's what I was told. Yeah. So the shows that come your way, you're like, well, I don't want to do this show because if I do it, it's going to burn a bridge. You can't go on the show again. I have some really good examples of that too. Things I've done before, not knowing I couldn't do them again, where you take a job, think it's not going to go, the show's not going to go anywhere. It's just going to be one and out. You figure it's not going to, then of course the show ends up going for 10 years, whatever show that is I'm referring to. But I've made those mistakes. So now when I get offered these things for these smaller roles, but you want to work with a certain director, because I believe work begets work, as opposed for casting or agent trying to pitch you for a job to a casting director that doesn't know you. They could say, hey, Chris, you just cast him in this. So that's your idea. Maybe I would do this job because they'll get me next time. But I also learned that in Hollywood, they have a very short memory, unless it's something bad, I think, but more or less. And I have no burnt bridges in town, but it's a short memory here, unfortunately. Like you figure I do this, the floodgate's going to open up and all the work's going to pour in. It's just not always the case. But you keep slugging away. You keep doing your thing, I've been lucky in my life. Let's put it that way, with work and so forth.
It's like because currently right now at the moment, Casey and I, we're watching what would turn out to be the final season because she didn't get direct TV, so she was never able to see it, but they're all on YouTube. I'm sure you know that. And so me and her, we've been basically watching episodes of the final season and everything. And I mentioned this like when we very, very first met and everything, is that it's like I said, the one thing that really, really, really upsets me about your character is that you didn't get a wrap up. It's like you were just on one episode and then you just I think we're done with you already. I don't think you appear again where we are.
Yeah,
like you didn't get arrested, you didn't get killed.
They didn't. And it was because of I think it went to DirecTV for just to get people to sign on DirecTV. That's why I look at it. Because they did a pre-nomination, by the way. To get nominated for an Emmy, you have to get pre-nominated first. And I was pre-nominated by the cast. Casting comes through the crew, and the cast is the first step to getting nominated to go to the Academy. So I got pre-nominated that year, and I was flattered by it, but it didn't go anywhere because the NBC wasn't putting nothing behind it. DirecTV wasn't putting anything behind it at this point. It was basically a write-off at that point, because when I went to DirecTV, I knew it was kiss of death. I just knew it was. They wanted to get people to, if you sign on to DirecTV now, you can get this and that. You can watch Passions, and they got people to go to DirecTV for that reason. I think it was misleading, I think. And then when that happened, I was very excited about it, and then it just kind of petered out, It's just it's what it was. And then Riley died, as you know, and that just effed everything up. Any idea, because there was talk of it going to another network and all sorts of things were going around. Then he passed away, unfortunately.
But I thought that he died shortly after the show ended.
Yeah, but still, any kind of idea that it's going to get picked up or he was going to do something else, and you want to be in his good graces, because I had a great relationship. Not obviously never meeting him in person. He lived in East Coast, I think it was at the time, but he was a fan of mine. I was hearing that from production quite a bit, and obviously for the way he wrote for me. And I was very excited. Every day I'd get a script, as most actors do, especially in daytime. You go to the very last page that you're on, and you want to see what happened. Am I getting killed off? But my character, as you know, would do the most hellacious, horrible things. And I would never get killed. I was like, how am I getting out of this one? How am I getting out of this one? How am I going to get out of this? And I was stressed, and I realized after a while, I go, they're not going to get rid of me, man, because I did my work, and people like me. I think that they. I learned a long time ago because I've done other daytime shows where I got killed off. Port Charles was one of them, where I was on there recurring on there, and I made a mistake of not making him interesting enough. He was a bad guy. He was just a jerk and an asshole basically. And he shows up and he's the jerk, right?
Sure.
I didn't make him interesting. So people have to care about you. You have to wonder. You have to instill some sort of wow. I wonder why is he like this? Or I'm curious. He's kind of a jerk, but why? You have to stir some kind of emotion in an audience, or they're not going to care about you.
I kind of picked that up with Hillary Swank on
Where's
90210.
my baby?
There
she is.
Little one.
What's her name? Or his name?
Basil.
What's his name? Or her name? Basil.
Name's
Beautiful.
Basil.
Nice,
She sits
nice.
on the bed. She's a huge cat.
That's beautiful. I love cats. But so I learned that on that. They killed me off. I remember they killed me off my birthday on Port Charles.
Some birthday present.
It's the same casting director, Mark Teschner, who does General Hospital, and I have a relationship with him for years. And in fact, I just not too long ago went in for a contract role on that a couple months ago. But the thing is, like I said, and he apologized for not telling me, they dropped me off a friggin' building. It wasn't like Passions. Once you're dead, you're dead. And I remember the character is like, he's trying to save me. And I'm like, let me go. I can't live with myself. No, I'm going to save you. I said, no, let me go. I'm thinking in my brain, I'm thinking, no, please pull me up. You know what I mean? I don't want to die. So I learned from that, you have to make him interesting, and you have to, people have to care about you. And I think I did. I made him likable, I think, from the stuff I used to read. And I think I mentioned to you that they told me not to go to the chat rooms when I first started. And of course, first thing I knew I got home was I'm at the chat. I'm going to the chat rooms. I liked it. I was mixing, people were getting, I enjoyed reading it, stuff I read. It was Prime. It was really kind of positive. People thought I had grimy looking teeth. They said they made them teeth look grimy. I have nice teeth. They write stuff. And it was okay because it was part of it. You know what I mean? And I love it. Good, bad, or indifferent. If you have something to say to me, it's a good thing.
Absolutely. I mean, Casey, I'm sure you've got a question or two, but before you do or whatever, I just want to ask this or whatnot. Was there any, I mean, and you're more than, obviously you can name more than one if you want to, but was there any specific cast members from the show that you just loved working with all the time? You know, I mean, I know you, I mean, you worked with quite a few. I mean, like you said, I wasn't watching when you very first started. That's something I didn't tell you. I call myself this huge Passions fan, but I didn't start watching until maybe it ran for 9 seasons. I didn't start until maybe season 7. My very first episode was the episode, I know you were around, but I don't know if you were in this story. My very first episode was the episode of when Kay was trying to choose between Fox and Miguel to marry, and she chose Fox or whatever. And then that whole battle of Miguel trying to get Kay from Fox and everything. That was my first episode. And then I went on from there. So I didn't see when you very first came on, but I just back at the time, there were clips all over the place. Nowadays you can find a handful of clips, but not the way it used to and stuff like that. So I didn't see when you very first came on, but I've noticed that, I mean, you had you had some fights with Dylan Fergus as Noah, and you had some time with Emily Harper as Fancy, and obviously, of course, you were married to Jessica for a time. So you worked with a lot of people. So I mean, was there
Fox, I'm trying to think of the actor's name. He's on he's blew up, of course. Can't think of his name.
Well, I think you worked mostly with Mark Weistrack. I think. I mean,
Justin Hartley. Mark. Yeah, but the guy he replaced,
Justin Hartley. Yeah, played
Justin.
Fox.
Okay, so Justin, I remember Justin before he left the show, and I'll never forget. We were at at NBC at Universal, and it was a fan party for fans, and it was I remember him talking to me about he was going to leave the show, and at the time I was thinking to myself, he wasn't asking my opinion, and what had nothing to do with what I was going to tell him, but we were just chatting, and he's like, yeah, I'm thinking about, doing this. And I'm like, wow, man, you got a good gig here. And because it's actually, you want to hold on to that job. And obviously it worked out for him hugely. So he's a great guy. There's no one in particular I liked working with more, but I liked, I just remember I used to, Let me tell you a quick story, okay, about a time where I almost lost my job. Can I share that with you?
Oh, sure, absolutely. Anything, dude. That's what we're here for. Tell us
All right,
stories.
good. I got a lot of stories. So this particular day,
Absolutely.
okay, on stage is a stage manager, okay, who basically is sort of the director, the earpiece. The director and the producer are all inside a little small cubby hole in a little confined area, watching everything and all the cameras, and they're calling and stuff through his ears. He's the voice for the director. If there's something specific they want to say, they don't usually come out there. They're in the booth, and the stage manager, that's his job to tell you what's going on. His name is Jay. He was a good friend of mine. He's still a friend of mine to this day, but we don't talk as much. Anyway, this particular day, he was not working. I was on the show for about 3 months at the time, and I was doing a scene with Danica, Jessica, and we had a new stage manager. Now, I don't know what was going on. I wish I could tell you, like, I went out and partied the night before, but that's not what I would do ever. I was very professional. I never messed around. When I had stuff going on, it was like my Bible, because the amount of dialogue we would say, as you know, it would sometimes repeat itself. You know, you'd be like, didn't I just say this? But anyway, so this particular day, everything was fine. I was the last setup of the day. They've been there all day. And we had a new stage manager. Anyway, so Danica's sitting on my lap, Jessica's sitting on my lap, and I don't remember what the dialogue was. Maybe I don't know what it was, but she's talking. And I just drew a blank, and I said, "Oh, sorry, can we start again? Sorry about that." And they go, "Yeah." And I said, "What's the line again?" And the new stage manager goes, "The line is this." She told me the lines. I remember what they were, but for some reason, while she's telling me the lines, I'm thinking it's not registering. I'm like, okay. And they do the count, 3, 2, and my brain's going, I don't know what it is. I don't know. It's fear. Okay. It's horrible because everybody is there waiting for you to get it because they want to go home. You're the last setup of the day. So they do the count now. I'm sorry. The old stupid guy. Sorry. What's the line again?
Oh, dear.
Let's just put it this way. I did it about 4 or 5 times. And Danica goes, "Chris, you okay? Is everything okay? You got this. Great. Yeah. I'm not even hearing a word she's saying. I'm not worried. I don't know where I'm at. I'm lost. I'm like, I just want to get out of here. I could literally tell myself, they're not going to see me sweat right now. They're not going to see me sweat. So this went on a few times, and you could hear a pin drop, literally. And there's about 25 people there on set, and then you can hear production there. I can imagine her cursing at my ear right now because I can't. I'm not, for some reason, I'm having a problem. So I get through it. Thank you, done. Bye. I get in my car. I'm driving home. I get a call from my agent, and his name is Eddie. And I'll never forget it. He says, "Can I curse on here? Can I curse on here? Can I curse on here?" Well, I'm not really cursing.
Okay, we all curse.
So he says to me, "So how was work today?" He never says this to me. I said, "Cut the shit, Eddie. What's up?" He says, "I just want to take out a call from casting. They said you were not the actor they hired. They said before they have to make another call, you better pull it together. Just that's it." Well, we could do up to 3 shows in one day. Tomorrow, the next day, I had to do 3 shows. And I'm like, oh my God. I hung the phone up. I kind of got so upset with myself, and I had to drive home. I got emotional. I felt horrible. I let myself down, but I had no reason to I'm human. So I went to a friend's house. I started running words. I go, "Bro, here's what happened." I explained to myself, "We just got to do this." I was running lines so much. You run so much lines so many times, you like don't even know the lines. You forget everything because you have to learn the lines. So you have to throw it away and then stay in the moment. And you say your line, and I go, it just comes out of you, right? So the next day I get to work, and I knew everyone was watching me. They told me at Base I was going to lose my job. They don't care. So I'll never forget this. Well, Jay was back now. The stage manager, I told you, the normal stage manager was back. And it wasn't his fault that I messed up, obviously, but I felt more comfortable. So the next day comes, and here I am, and they go, action. And guess what? I start stumbling lines again. Cut. He comes over to me. He says in my ear, Chris, he says the most elementary acting 101 thing in my ear. He says this to me: stay in it. Stay in it. Now, to somebody who's not in the business, that may mean nothing to you. But he said the words to me, "stay in it." And I go, it just came to me. I go, okay. So in other words, no matter what happens, because they're about verbatim. They're about the words verbatim. All right, on daytime television. And I said, fuck it. He just goes, "stay in it." I go, okay, because I know the scenario. I know what's going on. Usually Spike says this and all these things. I said, cool. So I just start going. If I forgot the line, I just improvised, but got back there and get me back on path, on track. And I just did that. And from that point on, I never had a bad day. They would actually write in my dialogue. I'd improvise things. They'd write it in. The next week, the script would come out. Some of the shit I improvised would be right there on the script.
Wow.
Never looked back. I never looked back. And that was, one of the scariest, not scariest, but it was so intense, man, because imagine learning 40 pages of dialogue a day, 40 pages off book. And they do not. And so I first got the job there. I looked at this particular job because I've been on daytime before, not at this extent. And I get there and I'd sit there. These guys learn the shit in the chair, getting the makeup on. Because you got that muscle that you're working. Not like you do a film. Film, you can do 6 pages a day, Like I just did a series, which we can talk about later for Amazon, which is coming out soon. And we do about 9 pages a day. So, you might have monologues, but you do 9 friggin' pages, no problem. And stop and go. There, they got 3 cameras going, so they get every angle. You don't stop and set up. In a film, you can stop. Okay, we're gonna turn the camera around. Okay, you wait. You learn your shit. All right, let's go. You still gotta know your stuff, right? But daytime stuff, because you got 3 or 4 cameras going at the same time. So you walk over to the door, camera's waiting for you. It's not like cut. You got to go to the door. It's waiting for you. There's a light goes on to you, buddy. See, it's intense. It's intense.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just say these 2 things. Of course, Casey here, that's one of the things about this podcast or whatever, is that poor Casey here barely gets that much time to chat. I'm the one usually running off at the mouth, but I'll just say these quick 2 things before, Casey, you can say a thing or 2, is number 1, it's really interesting because, I myself, I'm an actor myself, but I'm more of a stage person than I am a film person.
Well, that's why you talked to me about theater, right? You've done Broadway yourself?
I want to do Broadway, but I don't think it's going to happen now. I've auditioned. Like I said, I came out
Don't
here.
Don't say that though. Don't say that. Don't say it's not going to happen. Don't say that. Unless you're not. Do you tell them that too, Casey? Do you tell them that too? You can't just give up already. Jesus Christ, I would have been giving up.
Already,
dude, I've been out of this business a long time ago.
I'll just say this. I moved here in 2015 when I was married to Jenna as a newlywed man, hoping to actually have a Broadway career. I get out here, and that was 2015. Dude, I've only had 1 theater gig since I got out here, and it wasn't Broadway. It was community theater. That was in 2017. Before then, after that, no one wants me. That's the thing. I have not had a gig since then. And it wasn't even a paying job.
You have an agent? Do you have an agent? Do you have an agent? Well, that's what you need. I don't know how theater works. But that's the way, that's what it is.
Yeah, I don't, that's the thing about me, because me being autistic, I am disabled. Like I said, I am autistic. So it's a lot harder for me. But where I'm originally from, when I lived in Illinois, I did shows all the time. I did shows like all the time.
You're a big fish. You're a big fish over there. Big fish in a little pond.
Absolutely. The thing of it is that, Casey, I don't know if I ever told you this, sweetie, but it's actually funny, really. I'll share this with both of you. My voice teacher, who I actually see, I do on Zoom once a month. I have a voice teacher, and I'm a singer more than I am anything else. I sing, but I have a voice teacher who is a professional actress. I don't know how much Broadway she's done outside of Bonnie and Clyde and School of Rock. I don't know what else she's done on Broadway, but I know she's done a lot of touring stuff. She was an understudy in the tour of Wicked and stuff like that, and she was the original Dorothy in the Wizard of Oz tour, stuff like that. Yeah. Well, anyways, she had originally told me when I very first met her, and I told her this stuff. She said nobody cares about that. The thing of it is that I a lot of times say that when I was in Illinois, the main reason
nobody cares about what? Wait, nobody cares about what?
I'm going to tell you, nobody cares about is that the thing of it is when I lived in Illinois, the reason why I did so much, I consider it as I cheated, because the thing of it was that you think most, like you, for example, you had to audition for your part. And that's what most people do. They go in, they audition, they do their thing, they go home, hope they get a phone call, hope their name makes the cast list. The thing about me was that, yes, I did have to audition, but almost all the theaters, I think there might have been like 1 or 2, maybe not. But for the most part, I've done so many shows in Illinois. And the majority of the shows that I did there, yes, I would have to audition. But when I would go into audition, all I would have to do is pay a fee. And once I paid a fee, I'm in. All I have to do is just audition for a specific character. And so I've always considered that as the cheating. Whereas my voice teacher says, nobody cares about that. Nobody cares how you got in. What they care about is, were you easy to work with? Did you learn your lines? Did you,
What do you
stuff
mean
like that.
pay?
That's what my voice teacher tells me.
What do you mean pay? What do you mean pay?
It's like every show was like, I don't know, I think it was like maybe like $50, and that was it. Just pay $50
to get in the show. Well, you're right. Nobody does care, and that's irrelevant. And that's your little secret. It's irrelevant as long as you got the gig.
A lot of people who I've met in my life, they like one or two people who I've met in my life, they actually say the opposite. They actually say that because the majority of the shows that I've done in my life, that's how I've got in. They say, dude, if that's the case, your whole life doesn't count. If that's what you did, you have to audition and get in. You have to earn your part. You can't just buy your part. But again, my voice teacher says nobody gives a shit about that.
No, that's all bullshit. That's all bullshit too, because whatever it takes to get in the door, no one cares how. At the end of the day, whatever it takes. So there's no rules. The rules are your rules, and how much. I mean, look, we've all heard about the casting couch. I'm gonna be getting off topic right here, but you've heard stories all day long. This guy did this favor. This girl did this, that, and the other. At the end of the day, that person, whatever they can sleep well at night about, they're there. I mean, every time I feel like I've seen it all in this business, I see something new. And I've been around, I've been in this business. I started the union in 1977. I started in the union.
That's my other issue is I'm not in the union. That's my other problem. I'm non-union.
You mean in the theater union? You mean?
Yeah. I'm not equity,
so you got to get Taft Hartley. Did Taft Hartley? You got to do one to get in, don't you? Do a union gig to get in?
I believe that's how it works. Yes, and I am to understand. I am to understand as well. Once you join the union, that's all you can do is union. You're not allowed to do non-union stuff anymore. So I mean, and it's interesting because my roommate Jenna, who you just met, I don't know if she is anymore, but she was actually in the union for movies. She actually, before she met me, I don't know everything she did, but she was actually an extra in movies like Men in Black 3 and that movie Noah with Russell Crowe. She was extras and stuff like that. She was in the union. So
in the extra union, you mean, or in the regular union, like SAG, or was it?
That I have no idea. I don't know. I've seen pictures of her like getting into makeup and all that stuff, and we went and saw Noah to try and see if we could see her. Went and saw that movie, didn't see her for a second. Yeah, there's that. And the other thing I was gonna say before, Casey, if you want to say some words, I want to let you talk, poor thing. Is that what you were talking about with your lines? This is very, very, very funny thing for me. Is that because I'm somebody that. If it's really, really interesting. I wasn't even on the show, if you know what I mean. And the fact of it is that I'm somebody that, for the most part, if I know something very, very well, I memorize the lines in my head, and people are like, how in the hell do you memorize all that or whatever? And the thing of it was that because my favorite character on Passions didn't come in until the final season, and it was when I tell this to Casey all the time. I probably drive her nuts telling her this, is that in the final season, it was when the very, very last actor to take over for the role of Miguel came on the show, Blair Redford. When he came on the show, he made Miguel.
I remember the audition. I remember the day audition too. Actually, I remember talking to him out there when the audition.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. When he came, I know that most people didn't care for his Miguel. They all wanted the other two back. Nobody really cared for Blair. He made Miguel my favorite character, and it wasn't really too thrilled with the writing, but I loved his acting for the part. The thing of it is that I've watched his episodes. I wasn't even on the show, and I've watched his episodes so many times. I got all his lines like right here in my head.
Oh, really?
It's just crazy. Like whenever I watch the episode, I can literally follow along with him saying all his lines.
Sure.
Like, no, Kay, I don't need any of that stuff. I want a normal life, home, kids, a job where I work hard and earn money. I don't want anything to happen. I don't want somebody to just wave a magic wand and make everything easy. If you can't live like that, I understand, but I can't live a life of magic. I won't. So I guess it's up to you. I got them all in there.
I feel like I'm there right now.
Exactly. Just get Heidi in front of me,
Listen, but don't sell yourself short, man. You got a good voice, first of all. Clearly, you got a good memory, obviously. So don't sell yourself short for anything.
Yeah. It's
really a doer.
Really,
You're
really
doing these things.
somebody it's really just difficult for me because once again, I am autistic, and the majority, so much of the world that I've come upon is very what's the word oh my God, I've said it so many times. They discriminative. They're very discriminative all the time. And I mean, I got no shows when I was in high school. They never wanted me. They wanted favorites. And the same thing with a lot of community theater. I kept on being thrown into roles that most people didn't give a damn about and all that stuff. They're like, we could basically do the whole show without you. That's how
Right.
worthless
But
my character was.
that's a, and it's not you, that's an insecurity speaking, because you're there for a reason. You did that show, whatever it was, and trying to make
It
you
was,
feel
yeah,
better
the only
about
show that I
yourself.
did out here, I did a musical version of the Christmas classic. You probably have seen it. I never did. Almost everybody has seen it but me. It was a musical version of the Christmas classic, It's a Wonderful Life, titled
Yeah.
simply A Wonderful Life. And I played Martini, and never played an Italian before. So yeah, so that was new for me. But that was the only and the fact of it is that once I got in, my character was already small enough. They made my character even smaller. They basically took all my solos and turned them into dialogue. So I was like, ugh. But anyways, I mean, Casey, sweetie, I mean, get your ass in here or whatever. We got a guest here. Let's say you two interact for a bit. I gotta, yeah. I mean,
My favorite characters in the show was Teresa and Ethan. I love them to the death. Yeah.
Teresa, she was married to
Justin Hartley.
Justin at the time, yeah.
Justin Hartley,
There was initially a hush-hush relationship they were having, and then
really?
yeah, they had to keep that quiet, and then they started. Then they came out with it. That was years ago, of course. So they obviously aren't together anymore. But it's great. Yeah, Teresa, and yeah, I worked with her a few times too. I liked working with people that I could work with. I just certain actors, if they came on, if they weren't, my character's such a strong character, and I would, if I saw it, because as an actor, my job is to listen. Acting 101 is listen, right? That's acting 101, listen. But I would really have a way with somebody. If they came in kind of meekly against my character, I would really take them apart. If they weren't strong in what they did, and I would use it, and I'm saying it as the character, and I would get the stage manager, say, Chris, take it easy on such and such in the scene. But I would just use it because my character did not mince words. He just didn't give a shit. And I used it, and I played him that well. That's why I had such longevity on there for the amount of time I was on the show and storylines. And sometimes it does create a little bit of animosity with the other actors. I won't name names, but when you start getting bigger storylines than a guy who's been there for this long, and then you're getting better storylines, that they kind of take a little. Sometimes they take a little. They take offense to it, sort of without saying it. But yeah, I've had some experiences on there where, if I can share something for you, Rodney plays Simone's father.
Yeah, TC.
Who's a friend of mine to this day. We don't speak much, but we're online. We talk to each other. He's a great guy.
I didn't see very much of him when I started, but I know who you're talking about.
But remember Simone? He's the black guy. Yeah, TC. Well, my first time working with him. Now, mind you, I'd never worked with him before, and they had a scene with him where I supposedly beat up Simone, and that's her father.
Oh, wow.
And I was going to set, and the scene we have a little fight scene, and while I was walking to set, they said, "Oh, hey, we're going to pad you up." I said, "No, you don't have to." He goes, "Listen, we got to pad you up." I said, "No, it's okay." He goes, "Oh, you've never worked with Rodney before, have you?" I go, "Well, what do you mean?" They go, "Listen, we should pad you up." I said, "I'm okay." I should listen to him. Now, this is like, I say this with love because he's a guy that's so passionate about it. But again, I focus on your weakness, right? So I come to set. The scenario is this. I knock on the door. I come in. He questions me about his daughter. And I basically tell him, go jump in the lake, whatever. He then is going to take me and throw me against the table. And then the cop's going to bust in and break us up. That's the scenario. So the director explains it. You're going to come in, Chris. I'm going, okay. And I look over at him and he's like, this is between the director's just telling us what to do. And he's working himself up to want to fucking kill me. And I go, hoo, like just playing with him. Right? I think he's fucking around. I don't know why he's getting so worked up. I think why is he? Okay, sure. He goes, yeah, Chris. Okay, you got this, Chris. Ronnie, you got it? Yeah, sure. Yeah, I got it. Okay, Chris, go ahead. Go to one. Everybody at one. Action. Okay, now remember, they told me I should have padded up. I said no. Okay, so I come in, I knock on the door, and remember, during the direction, I look at his face and he's getting fumed. I don't know. He's getting too worked up. I've seen this kind of shit before. So I go in there and I say my bit, and then he grabs me. Remember, it's acting. You don't got to throw me to the table. I can throw you, just go through the motions. I can sell it, right? Well, he really fucking throws me hard as he can. In real life, I wouldn't let you throw me anywhere, but I let him do it because, so I hit the table. He grabs me, and then the cops come in and break us up. And while they're breaking us up, I'm making it look real. I'm trying to get at him just to fill the scene up. Then they go, cut, great, moving on. Well, as soon as they say moving on, I look at my arm and I have skin pushed back from the table. I go, oh shit. So literally skin and it's red. So I don't say nothing. I just, oh my God. So I'm not going to cram my little baby. It's, act. What is that saying? Pain is temporary, film is forever, right? So I'm like, oh Jesus. So I start walking away and I hear him yell from the other side of the studio. He yells, don't you ever throw a fucking punch at me unless we block it. He's calling me out. And mind you, that stage is lit and it's a hot mic. They can hear you throughout the studio. So in production, they can hear you. They can hear you at NBC, which is about 7 miles away, and they can hear you everywhere. We're at CBS Radford. He called me out in front of everybody. And I just turned around and my normal impulse, and I said, what the you think it's called acting, brother? You see me, my fucking arm, you hear me complaining, you hear me fucking complaining? And I got fucking pissed off because it hurt me, but I didn't say a word, but he just got overzealous. And it's called acting, right? I'm not gonna let you throw me, but I'd let you throw me because so that was it. So I go to and mind you, I'm relatively new at this point. I go to my dressing room and they call me into the office. I go, oh fuck, great. Oh, they told me that again, he'd gotten people fired before, like stunt guys who got fired. Stunt people have been fired because he just he's really passionate about what he does, which I love about the guy when I got to know him. He's very passionate about it, no pun intended. But he when people grabbed on him too hard and he made problems for them, I'd heard. So they called me up to the office and they asked me what happened, and I explained to them. And it said, don't worry about it. He's just a passionate guy. So it was great. It was all good. But I had to establish myself then and there that, I'm real and I'm, like anybody else would react the same way. But I wasn't going to say anything about this. But at the time, he called me out and tried to embarrass me in front of everybody. And that doesn't fly. And I think it got me a little more respect on the set, from that point on.
Whoa.
Yeah, it was heavy. And a little bit more happened than that, but I'll just leave it right there.
Sure.
But it was great. It's part of the gig. But like I remember one thing I want to share with you guys. I was at the Coffee Bean on Sunset and Crescent Heights. You know Hollywood, you've been to LA?
No.
No, you guys. All right, so it's you've heard of Sunset Boulevard, obviously, right? Crescent Heights.
I've heard of it, but I've never.
Anyway, you've heard. Yeah, it's not that important. It's still where it's at. But anyway, I thought I'd share it with you. You might know where. Long story short, so I'm sitting there with my headphones on, and I have my Bible with me, which is my scripts, because I just have with me everywhere I go. And so a woman walks by and she's like talking to me, and I can't hear her. I go, and I'm big about it. I go, excuse me. She goes, I just want to let you know, you're lucky I'm drinking hot coffee and an iced coffee, because if I did, you'd be wearing it. And she wasn't. I go, oh, hey, like I'm waiting for her to smile. She wasn't smiling, and she walks away. I'm like, what the hell? So she took it so personally. And then I've run into people, I can't believe you did that to such and such. Why did you do this to such and such? Why did you do it? I said, because there's a script and I read it, and that's why. But people had some stuff to say to me, quite a bit. And at the time, the show was a hot show and people watched the show a lot. A lot of people watched it. And again, I appreciated it, but someone tell me they'd throw the coffee on me if it was iced coffee. It's kind of, oh, wow. But these kinds of things happen quite a bit. And I took it with a grain of salt. And if I ever go to Las Vegas, I told my friends, I said, be aware, people are going to be recognizing me a lot, because certain states, they recognize you more than other places, So that was that on that end. But yeah, it was cool. I liked it. I made him wonder about why I was like I was, and like I told you before, by making a character interesting and making him likable. You could be the worst animal on the road and worst person, but you have to make the audience care. Otherwise, you just, there's this jerk. I hope he gets killed. Oh, who cares? And then I'm sure you've seen movies where a guy gets killed off. You don't even give a shit.
Totally.
Or you're like, oh no, he kills it. Because you cared about the character. He's a bad guy or a girl, but you cared about him, right? So
Absolutely.
yeah.
Casey, sweetie, I can tell you're trying to say something or whatever, and we and him are
Am I talking too much, Casey?
Just a little bit, probably. You're fine.
Okay, good.
Go ahead, sweetie. Yeah, if you want to say something too, I don't want to jab
When
off.
the scenes when you was carrying around the gun and the knife, how do you feel about you when you carry them guns and knives around? Like,
well,
like in those scenes?
I was living truthfully under imaginary circumstances, so I care. Whatever the reasons were, whatever scene that was, I was doing that. Then that's what it was, and I looked at that person across from me as that person. I mean, I'm not that guy that would take it home with me, the idea, but it would be hard to rub off. Would be hard to get off me when I left the studio, like to get back to reality. But like if I was turning out Jessica, I was her pimp, or I was burying her in a ditch. I would feel strength, whatever it was, and that's what I had to make. I had to, with him as actor's job. It's not always in the script. You have to make your own reasons for why you do things. You have to create. You have to have your own reasons. It's written there what you're saying and what you're doing, but to the backstory, you have to have your own backstory, or it's not going to be believable. The writers give you the words, and you as an actor, Joe, they give you the words. And you have to believe it. You have to be truthful. And it's kind of dark. Sometimes you have to really dark places to like you said about carrying a knife or trying to kill somebody or the wife. To go to those places, you have to really go there, and it's exhausting if you're doing it right. And whatever you do in your preparation is personal to you. Nobody else. It's no one else's business. You go to that place, do your preparation. Like I studied Meisner for years over Playhouse West, and which is a method, which just basically being truthful and whatever it takes to get to that place. You go to wherever you go, which, like I said, is personal to you, to get to that dark place. So in order to create with a knife and what have you, you just, you have it for a reason, whatever that was. And I was willing to use that knife or that gun, whatever it was, in that scenario.
This question I have for you, man, is it's a little bit off of passions for a minute, but I mean, I think I already know your answer, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it'll take me by surprise. Do you have a favorite role of your career?
I really love Spike, to be honest with you, but I'm
figuring.
I really did like it because he was such a fun guy. He was a bad guy. Bad guys, I've played bad guys most of my life, my career.
Me too.
And they're really fun to play. You know what I mean? Because you can make them, everyone likes a bad guy, good bad guy. And you can make them it's kind of sexy sometimes. You can make them likable, and you have to make them likable, especially when they're doing heinous things that character did. But I just I was telling you that I just finished a series, which is coming. It's called Joseph of Egypt, which is from the creators of The Chosen. I mean, you've seen The Chosen before.
Oh,
but it's a faith-based film. It's pretty big. It's one of the biggest downloaded I should say streamed projects of all time. It's in 330 languages or something. It's a faith-based film. Same creators of that. They're doing this thing called Joseph of Egypt, which is, if you read the Bible, you know what that's about.
Yes.
So that I love the character. I play an Egyptian. I can't do much about the storyline, talk about it, but an Egyptian soldier, basically, and a real exhausting role, But again, I play a lot of great roles, and a lot of exhausting roles that you go to these dark places, and you've got to create this idea that people actually believe you're that type. Like, I have old girlfriends of mine. When they get mad at me, they'd say, "Oh, you're just like." For lack of a better example, I can't think of the name right now, but you're just like Spike. You're just like Spike, he's
the
a jerk.
Opposite of Spike. You're a nice dude.
But I'm saying they would do that. They throw that in your face. That's why they're exes of mine, by the way, whatever it was.
Oh,
I would have, I take it seriously, when I'm doing my work, and it's about the work. You know what I mean? Because I'm representing myself primarily, because that's going to go out there. You can't look. You have all favorite actors of yours. Sometimes you see in a bad movie. It's not the actor's fault. It's the editor. It's the script, it's the final edit. Like I've done projects where the movie did not come out the way I expected it to come out.
Sure.
And you blame the actor, like, oh, that guy. I mean, hey, I got nothing to do with it. You know, I'm a guy that do my lines. The projects where the editing was bad. I'm like, Jesus Christ, why they got like, why is this shot? You know, it makes no sense. Or cut away to this. Like, you don't cut away to my reaction to something. And you want to, the viewer is going to blame the actor, you know, but in reality, it's not, it got nothing to do with me or him or her. But I really enjoyed that this role coming out. I'm very excited about it for people to see it. And
when it comes out, check it out.
Yeah, well, it'll be out 2027. It'll be out next year. Just finished it. I was in New Mexico for about 4 months. So I just got back a few weeks ago. Actually, about a month ago, I got back. But yeah, I was gone for a while. I took my dog with me too, which was cool. Well, was with me. I usually don't take him with me when I travel, but I just got him, and he's got to come with me, so I brought him with me. Not on set, but you know, yeah, probably.
Yeah. Since we have like 15 minutes, just one quick question, and I know because I know that if I don't ask this, I know I'm going to get a lot of backlash if I don't ask this, including from Casey here, because Casey all the time is always wondering about this or whatever. She brings it up so many times in the podcast, so if I don't ask it, the world is probably going to hate me for this. I mean, I know that you don't know if it's going to happen, but let's just say that if it did happen. If Passions ever got a spin-off show and it ever got a reunion and a return or whatever, would you do it? And since your character, as we said before, did not get a wrap-up, what would you actually like to see happen with Spike if you did do it?
I'd like him to live forever, so that's what I answered. It was funny because, you know, I told you earlier about that documentary we did, and there was talk about the rebooting. There was talk about a reboot. There was talk about a reboot. It was before COVID. What they say, BC, before COVID. And yeah, it was definitely, we did it at a studio, and I saw Rodney there. I saw a few of the other actors there. And it was going forward. You know, it sat me down, and, you know, it was a big deal. And, you know, I was really looking forward to seeing that. And they might still do something with it. I don't know, with that documentary, but they did talk about the possibility of a reboot of some sort because of fans or something like yourself. We're still talking about the show. I'm wide open for that idea. You know, I like doing daytime. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work.
I don't think I've seen anything of you in anything. I don't know if you have done any other daytimes. I mean, like I said, I watch Days of Our Lives now. I mean, that'd be something that would be rally. I mean, there's a lot of characters on there. I would like, okay, let's bring Christopher on here. I mean,
I did Days a while back. Yeah, I did. I did. Yeah. Only daytime job I've not done is I was on Bold and Beautiful for a while.
I never watched that one.
Yeah. I was, you did too. I was, and then, I just said General Hospital, I just did not just, it was a minute ago for audition. I've auditioned quite a few times actually. And so actually, I was in New Mexico when I got that audition, which was not good because I had I was working a lot. I had a lot of dialogue. And in these films, you literally get sitting in your chair and they come with a new script. And it's like, oh my God. And you got all this shit you got to learn. It's like, oh my God, I just
gotta have a good brain.
It was brutal. But again, you can't complain. You got to do your work. You know what I mean? And you got to get that muscle in. But yeah, so when that came in front of me in a couple auditions, I had to turn down because I don't want to go do an audition half-baked. They don't care that you're abroad doing a job where you're getting paid for, which in other words, you're under contract. That's your primary, you know? And I like, oh my God, I got to focus on this right now. And a lot of times soap operas, they have the same dialogue that they use for the auditions. If it's a bad guy, it's the same shit. It's the same stuff. At least GH is like that.
Yeah, I've noticed something similar because like I told you before, because you and I, when we were speaking on the phone, I was telling you that, because Days and Passions were both by Riley, I a lot of times, it's hard to do this now, but originally when I very first started watching Days, I was like thinking to myself, I was like kind of comparing the characters, giving them counterparts in a way, like this character from Passions is this character from Days. They're just on different shows. Like I was like thinking to myself, like it's obvious. I mean, Galen is playing Rafe on Days of Our Lives. Well, his character is basically just Luis in almost every way. Not as only is it the same actor, but it's the same character. They're both cops. They're both the oldest Mexican son of a big Mexican family, and then I will try to find other people that are the same way or whatever. I've yet to find anybody that's Spike material quite yet. But
Yeah,
I know what you mean.
GH keeps bringing me back. He's auditioned me for the same bad guys, but that's cool because that's what Mark knows me as. But is Galen still on days? Is he
Him
still,
and him and Eric are both on days. Lindsay was on days until they
Yeah.
killed her off, which was like the thing that even they're upset that they did that. She's upset that they did that. And they also, for like maybe like 2 episodes, if you remember Melinda Sword, Pretty, she was also on there for like 2 episodes too. She played a nun that helped Galen's character out. And that's been it. I'm like saying, I keep on saying they need to bring other people from Passions to Days. It would really like, oh my God, it would make Days go through the roof, if you know what I mean. Or
Well,
do
that's
a
why
recast and bring somebody.
that's why they do that. That's why they bring other actors from their daytime shows, because they want that audience to follow that guy over here, you know.
And not to mention, I'm sure you know this, but originally the fact of it was that Galen's character, Eric's character, and Lindsay's character, they were all the same connection as they were on Passions. Lindsay was Eric's lover again, and she was Galen's sister again, just like on Passions. So it was like the whole thing was like a big Passions reunion. So
They
killed her off and broke the chain. So
one thing about those guys, when I first joined the show, everyone was very, very inviting and very warm, and everybody was great. I mean, I have not one bad thing to say about anybody on there ever. Everybody was so cool, and it was sad that it came to an end like it did, because literally, you know, as you know, Riley passed away, but that was after the fact. But when they moved, one of the guys on this, well, I guess with Miguel, they were recurring. They were series regular contract players, and then they were taking a cut. No guarantee. They were saying now you're recurring, and I think it was Miguel left. The guy played Miguel
left, and then Adrian
left. And I was thinking to myself, it's not my problem what you do. You do what you do, man. But I think and this particular guy I'm talking about, he was still working on his craft, you know, because I think he just got the job. It was one of his first gigs. And I'm thinking, why not just owning your craft, man? You're getting paid. So what if it's recurring? What else are you going to do right now? I'm thinking this. What you do with your career is your business. I'm not here to pat your back or talk you out of something. You're a grown man and you talk to your agent about it. But he wanted to leave. And I thought, it's interesting. I thought you'd stick around and just ride this out, you know, because it's a lot of ego thing too. You know, and Simone too, that played Rodney's TC's daughter, and they didn't like the idea of getting demoted from contract to recurring, and they wanted to leave. I'm thinking, okay, well, to each his own, but.
So you pretty much I mean, I don't know if you would know. Do you know like why most of the actors chose to leave and stuff like that? I mean, do you know like a lot of them, or just know a few two?
Well, if you're referring to Passions, I just know the people when it went to DirecTV, they had contracts had to be changed, because some of them had a guarantee, like, okay, you're guaranteed this many shows a week. Even if you only do one show, you're still going to get paid for 2 shows or whatever it was. But initially, me coming on, I was recurring, which did me a favor because I wasn't locked in. Yet I still had so many options, so many shows. So if they were to come in with a contract, they weren't offering me much. So it made no sense for me to go on his contract. So I stayed recurring the whole time, and which was great because like I said, I got a great run, as you know. But if there's something bigger came up that I could walk away, they would let me. They were good to me about leaving for auditions with like big directors, some particular project I was going to do. Mike Nichols and with Julia Roberts. Anyway, they were good to me, you know. But it was my bread and butter at the time. But the best thing about it was I was working. I loved it because I was honing my craft, man. It's the best for, especially it wasn't just starting out in the business, but it's a whole other learning place to learn. And for an actor who's kind of green, just starting out, why the heck would you walk away from that? Again, to each his own. But it's fucking ego, man. No one gives a shit about your ego. Check it at the door. And I always remember, keep in mind, people you meet on the way up, you might see on the way down. And I've already been at the bottom. Whatever that means, I know what it smells like. I know what it tastes like. So I have to go back down there, no problem. But the reality is, I'm going to be true to who I am as a person, as an actor. And I treat people the way I want to be treated. You know what I mean? And, you know, like anything in life, man, you know, you're just, whatever job you do, I'm no different than you. Because the guy's a TV or an actor, it's the same shit. But I've met people that were unapproached when I was younger, you know, and I never forgot that, you know, like, why would you be so cold to me? And I'm just a guy trying to meet you. You know, I was younger. I'd walk up to whoever, you know, and I thought I would never treat people that way, you know, because you're only as good as your last gig. And without people like, you know, yourself, who's a fan of these shows, you know, without people like that, I don't have a job. So we're all the same, you know. We're the fan, and I'm the actor on the thing, and it's, you know, we all have something in common, you know.
I've been a fan since 1999 when it
Oh
first
my
came
God,
on.
beginning. Oh, right on. And you didn't have DirecTV at the end though, Casey. He told me. So how did you follow it at
Nope.
the very end when it went to
Well,
direct?
when it went to Direct TV, when they said they moved into Direct TV, I was mad. I was very upset
It was just to get you
because
to go to DirecTV to look. Oh, and I had DirecTV. I canceled it when they canceled the show. So I pretend like I was a fan. I go, you know what? I'm done with this
So did Jenna.
DirecTV.
I remember the same way.
Yeah, I have it now, of course. But at the time, I remember I'm canceling because you got rid of the show. So, yeah, we'd be getting a lot of calls. People were upset, blah, 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 blah. But I wasn't saying who I was, but I remember telling them that. And the thought was actually Law and Order got sent to Peacock and then organized. And then it came back. It was on network. Okay. And then it just the next season went to Peacock. So that's another ploy to get people to go to Peacock. See? Now I don't know where it's at now.
But yeah, Casey, as you were saying.
let me think.
Well, she was your fan
Yeah.
since '99.
Whatever. Yeah, you were upset because the show went to DirecTV. Yeah,
I was too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll be honest with you. I didn't have DirecTV neither. Basically, originally when I went to my father and I said, "What am I supposed to do? It's moving to DirecTV. This is my first soap opera." He comes in, he looks at the advertisement on the TV, and he goes, "You're just gonna have to stop watching it, man." And I'm like, "You're kidding me? No!" And my mom's like, "Bert, don't tell him that, or whatever." And so then I didn't know what was gonna happen, and then my dad actually said some point into the show, I can't remember if the show had already started on DirecTV or if it was moving there, I don't know. But he finally said, if you would like, the show is on 4 days a week. And that's another thing too. They cut it down to only 4 days when it was on DirecTV, and then they cut it down to 3 later on. When it got obviously closed, obvious that it was going to be canceled. When it was on 4 days a week, he goes, if you would like, I can download the episodes as they air, and I can put them onto DVD for you if you want to see them that way. I said that would be great. Yeah, sure. And he did that, and that was how we didn't have DirecTV, and so you
I watched them on Passions.com when they had Passions.com a long time ago. That's how I watched the episodes. From on there.
Made it happen.
And like I said, so she unfortunately missed out. So here we are together watching the final season together on YouTube. Yeah, and we use the episodes that we watch to talk about on the show here. And whenever we have a guest star, we don't need to talk about it because we got somebody on here to get to know and everything. So
you know what's funny? It's people like you guys who are amazing, who love the show, any show, and keep things going, and I think it's so awesome, and that you're into it, the characters, and it's such a blessing. I've met so many nice people from that show, meaning fans and so forth, and who took the time to say hello to me, like you took the time to call me, and I really appreciate it. Initially, I was when you first called me, because I've gotten calls before from people who have seen things they kind of just want, I don't know what, but I was taken aback, and then you said, "Hey, you're from Passion," and you want to talk. I said, I was really honored that you'd call me and ask me to do that. I was really impressed with that. And I said, absolutely, I'm there 100%, like I am here, and with you now. And I really appreciated the call and your enthusiasm about it. It meant a lot to me. It means a lot to me, I should say.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest with you. I mean, Casey, I know this is going to make it sound a lot more like me or whatever I'm about to say here, but I'm just going to say just everything that you're saying right now. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not going to say it here on the show, but my day today hasn't really been that great today. I actually just got done having a panic attack before the show, not to get into details of the show, but everything that you just now said there, it really touches my heart, something big time. And it really makes
it sincerely, man.
Feel very good. Yeah, because I'll be honest with you. I mean, again, Casey and I, we have been trying to reach out to people, and I mean Mackenzie Westmore, you remember her, she does live on TikTok, which is somewhere else that I messaged you on TikTok before I found your number. I messaged you on TikTok hoping to get an answer.
Yeah, I don't really go. My daughter set that up for me. I'm not really a social media. I got to get more. Whenever I got stuff going on, I always get on, and I like on Instagram and Facebook. I promote.
I follow you on Instagram.
But I don't really run it. And I got a girlfriend that runs that, and which is kind of like my ex-girlfriend, but I got to get that stuff from her because it starts.
Right. It's because I myself, I mean, kind of embarrassed to admit this or whatever on the show, but I don't think it's gonna kill me that much. I mean, we've been doing the show long enough, but because the fact is that you have actually been the nicest one that I've actually gotten in touch with. Like I said, I mean, for all we know, we could actually keep in touch after the show or whatever, as long as I'm not bothering into your personal life or being a stalker or anything. But the thing of it is that like I've tried, I've tried calling people, like I mean, Mackenzie Westmore on her, she does a lot of times, that she's been doing a lot lately. She's done, she does these workout on the treadmills live
The
on
makeup
live.
thing, yeah.
Yeah, and so I always am attending on there, and she knows that. Well, anyways, she told me not to do this and everything, but I don't think she realizes that it's because I do this. That's how I meet these people and get them on the show.
Not to do what?
Well, I find these people numbers and I try to call them and everything. I tried calling Juliette Mills, Tabitha. I tried calling her, and I remember she picked up the phone, and I recognized her voice, and she basically goes, "Who's this?" And then I said, "Yeah, my name is so and so, this and that, and this and that." And I go, "Everything about the podcast is like I did with you and everything." What happens? Beep, hangs right up on me. And, like that or whatever, and like that or whatever.
To each his own. I mean, some
people have been like, "Please lose this number. I don't want this number being out there," and stuff like that. And I mean, the last and only person that ever actually told me no to do this podcast, everybody else either said yes, they said I'll look into it, or they completely ghost me, or they don't answer me at all. But the only one that nobody has told me no, except the same day that I spoke to you was I told you earlier that I contacted Christy Ferris. She said reach out to me in March, because she's booked right now. After her, if you remember, I don't remember if you were, you might have been on, but I wasn't watching this early in advance. Alan Oppenheimer, the voice of Alistair before the face was shown, it was just the body. Yeah, I called him up, and when I told him everything, he gave me a little laugh, and he goes, "So this is a podcast invite?" And I said, "Well, yes, but also because I'm like a big fan of you guys and everything, and this is also a great way for me to meet my idols." And then he goes, "Well, I'm going to tell you this right now. I'm not going to meet you. I am not going to do a podcast. So this is our last conversation. I thank you for being a fan, but I need to protect my privacy and everything. So thank you for being a fan, though." And I said, "Well, thank you for being so nice." And we hung up, and that was that. But there's
what's he doing? What's he doing right now? That's so. I mean,
I don't know. But that just I'll never forget when I tried calling Galen. I didn't get him, but I sent him a text message, and then I'm like, "Is this Galen?" He responds, "Who the hell wants to know?" And I'm like thinking, "Oh God, I'm really screwing this up." And all these people, I've tried calling Lindsay, I've tried calling Melinda, I've tried all these people or whatever, and a lot of the times I know it's them. It's just their voicemails and like Liza and all that stuff, but they don't answer the phone, and if they do, I really don't get that much. The way I got Don and Danny was Don answered me on Instagram, and Danny Woodburn, I sent him an email, and he responded back saying, "You haven't really told me your name, so this is a little creepy." And then I'm like, "I'm sorry, I have autism. This is all new to me." So I explained to him everything that was going on. Then he got back to me, and he said, "I'm currently out of the country right now filming, but I will be back this time, this day. Get back to me then." And then wouldn't you know it, this is funny for me and Casey, we love this, is that we got Don the very weekend after we got Danny. So it was like 2 weekends in a row we got these.
Danny, Don's a good guy. Don's a really good guy. I worked with him for a short time because he come on really close to the end. I know. Don Sway, he came on like relatively close to the end, I think. Can't remember exactly, but he was a good dude. Mackenzie and I were very close too, by the way, back in the day.
I know. I know she wanted to slap the crap out of you on that show and everything. Like, "Where's Marty?" We
had some good times. Especially
I must ask. This I must ask you, dude. I must ask this on the show. I've asked a number of people. Nobody else knows. Mackenzie said none of us know or whatever. And I'm just going to ask you just for the hell of it. Just out of curiosity, do you have any idea of what has become of Emily Harper, who played Fancy?
No.
Because
No,
she's like
I
the
think she
only
got out of the
one.
business. I think she got out of the business. I do. I don't think she's very excited about being in the business. I don't think she liked it. I think she, again, this is me just talking from the cuff. I don't really know, but I remember, you know, she was getting a lot of press at the time, and really pretty girl and really nice. But I don't think she, you know, listen, I would take advantage of all the fan events. I would be there, and I would try to get Danica to go with me, because I said, look, we're this couple, you know, and everybody knows us as this couple. We should go together. I do my part. And they wouldn't be like, I feel like you're helping the show out, first of all. And I would show up at all these things. They would invite me to, and I'd get invited to most of them. And I would show up because it's like, it's to help the show. And another thing I'll tell you, there's certain actors that have a lot of dialogue, right? And they'd say, Chris, if I look like I'm looking at your forehead, because I just want to get through this dialogue. I'm just letting you know. And I'm thinking to myself, fuck, dude, this is what you get paid. This is the fun of it. And I thought to myself, fuck it. This is my ride. You don't want to get on, be on it. Fine, get off it. But the idea is to experience what you're saying to me. And I take it in and I respond to you. But I remember them saying, look, man, I'm just going to say what I got to say and get through these works. That's so much to say. Okay, to each his own. But I'm gonna fucking experience it. If you're gonna tell me you're gonna kill me, if I'm gonna tell you I'm gonna love you, or I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna really mean it. I'm gonna be in the moment of it. That's why I'm here, and that's what acting is. That's the high you get from it. And I'm telling you something. There's nothing like, I'll say this: when you're in it, you don't hear or know. There's nothing else around you. You're looking at that person you're talking to, and you're in the zone, and there's no one else there. And it's the best drug I've ever done. And I'm saying that in the funny sense to say the high you get from that is why I do this, and why a lot of actors can understand that. And there's a place you go and you're in that moment. It's the biggest rush you ever get. It's almost better than sex. It's amazing. And I tell you what, it's it's few and not too. It's what's the word I'm trying to say? It's just when it happens, you know that feeling, you know what I mean? And it's like you have a good day, or the job I was just on, had a few days like that, I was in the zone, and nothing like it. That's why we do this. That's why I do this. You know? And to talk to nice people like you guys. That's the reason why I do. To me, guys like you guys.
Absolutely. Because like I said about Emily and everything, that's another thing. So I'm like thinking,
yeah, I couldn't tell you. I'm sorry, brother.
Yeah, no. You're not the only one. Mackenzie said
all you do is IMDb. Listen, all you do IMDb people, and you'll see what they're doing.
Yeah, but IMDb, it's like Passions is kind of like the only thing you see on there for her. I mean,
she's out.
It's what's that?
She's out. That means that she's out.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, yeah, it's just it was amazing that she signed on for DirecTV. I mean, I know she was recast for like 2 episodes, because I think she had the flu or something. But other than that, but I mean, I just keep thinking to myself, if Passions ever got a reboot, she flipping marries Luis. What are they gonna do? Recast her, or are they gonna put him back with Sheridan, or what are they gonna do? Or without Fancy? The only person that I got anything from was, I remember this was like about a year or 2 ago. I messaged Dylan Fergus, who also said that he'll do this show as well. He and we keep in touch on Instagram. It's just about finding the time for him.
I don't think he's an actor anymore, is he? I don't think
he's not. He told me he's retired. But I asked him if he had heard anything from Emily. He goes, I saw her a few years ago. I think she quit acting. And so, I mean, yeah, but still, yeah. But Casey, before our clock runs out, you want to say like 1 or 2 things before our clock runs, before my alarm goes off?
Yeah, maybe she went to someone else. Maybe she's interested in someone else. That's probably why she got out acting, so she can go to someone else.
You mean do something else in the acting business, you mean, or just something else in life?
In life, probably.
Yeah, exactly. That's what, people aren't as crazy as people like me who just stay. I'm a burden for punishment. I'm still in this damn business. I've been lucky. I've been lucky when I worked. I made enough money at different times in my life. I worked to save money to buy property. I bought properties in Venice and my house I live in. So I was smart, because during COVID, work was nowhere. And if I didn't buy the building I got in Venice Beach, I got a apartment building I own. I don't know what I would have done. Yeah, I've been lucky. So this means when I go into the room or an audition, I don't come in from a desperate point. I come in like, I need this job. I come in from trying to be, my rent's paid, you know what I'm saying? Fortunately, because of investments I made, but I still got to work because psychologically speaking, this is what I do. And I used to base my happiness on whether I was working on this. I was years ago, but I realized there's more to life than this, but it is a major part of my life. And I've sacrificed a lot for this. It takes discipline. It takes tenacity. You have to have faith, and you got to believe in yourself. That's what I tell you, Joe. You got to believe in yourself, man.
Confidence.
What's
You
that?
gotta have confidence in yourself.
Yeah, and you gotta have thick skin because listen, like Joey was saying, you get the doors slammed in your face constantly. You're constantly questioning, asking yourself, is it me? Is it me? But the reality, it's not. You just I did a film I produced not too long ago, which is a true story about a rock star who gets dementia, and my father passed away from dementia, and he was sick during the course of the shooting of this. But anyway, I was in the casting process. And I saw these great people. A lot of people, the roles were already cast, but we put them out there just to get a buzz going. And a lot of times they come in and do a great reading, but the reality is the roles are already cast, or they're just not the right type, and they want to follow up on it. And I get it, because I'm an actor, and I'm the best guy to come into a room with because I'm an actor. So when an actor wants to come and improvise, I have sympathy for you because that's what I do. I'm in this business. So I will give it back to you. We'll throw words back and forth because I like to improvise in an audition as opposed to doing the lines, because you have to see if you have a good idea for the character. So the script is. So with the idea of the script, talk to me in that character. Let's go back and forth. I'll tell them, and we'll go back and forth. If you know the character, give me your version of him, and I'll do that. It's a skeleton of the character that you write out. They have to fill the actor's got to fill the scene and make it full. And that's what I hope that they would bring. So I would, let people play in the room when I do the casting process. Because back then we were doing auditions in person. Now it's on tape, everything, as you know.
Well, except unfortunately these soap operas, which aside from Passions, which is all on YouTube, any other soap opera, once it goes off the air, you never see it again. I'm like,
oh no, that's right. I mean, well, that's why. By the way, a little thing I'm throwing real quick. So my favorite band of all time is AC/DC. Okay, real quick, and the old AC/DC with Bon Scott. So here's the deal. I don't know if you saw that when I buried Jessica. Did you see that story?
Oh yeah, I know that storyline. Mm-hmm. Yep,
okay, well, I'm driving in the van, right, and I'm listening to music. Well, guess what song they were playing? Highway to Hell.
Oh!
Yes, and I couldn't believe it. I can't remember his name, the music guy. I remember seeing him. I hugged him. The reason why they can do that, you're allowed to play a song one time on television until you got to pay the people that own the song. Yes, one time you can do it. So I learned that. I didn't know that because I would be very expensive. So I remember I was driving the car because I saw the air, and they didn't tell me what song was going to be played, but I have to pretend I'm listening to something. I'm driving. And it was Highway to Hell, and I couldn't freaking believe it. And the next day at work, I go, "Oh my God, you played my favorite band!" But again, you don't see it unless it's on YouTube or something. But they have the rights; they only can do it one time. Even online, they apply pull it.
Because my alarm's about to go off, I have time to tell you two things about that. Because number one, this one girl that I know of, she says that she is in touch with a lot of stars from Passions. I don't know. Her name is Ina something or whatever. I don't know if you're familiar with her. She I met her. She's very, very big all over social media when it comes to soap operas, particularly Passions. She's a big Shoeys fan. Her and I get into arguments all the time because I'm a Lancey fan and she's a Shoeys fan. Anyways, she's very sweet and all, she's great, but she really gets on my nerves because there's one thing she's got this obsession with. She really, really wants, we all want this. We all want this. Casey and I want this. We all want this, is that we all want Netflix to pick up Passions and to have it on Netflix. Well, this Ina is so obsessed with that. She's basically all over social media with these what do you call them, voting things, or what do you call those things, or whatever, trying to get people to vote, really, really, really believing that if enough people vote, Netflix will pick up Passions. I have had to say to her time and time again, Girl, you are wasting your time. Those things are not going to do anything. As long as Netflix doesn't have the rights to Passions, they're not going to do it. You could get 1 million votes. They're not going to do it if they don't have the rights. That was number one. Yeah. So I wish you would cut it out already. It's getting on my nerves. That's number one. And the other thing is because you mentioned about the music. Well, I mean, again, you started on an episode of 90210, so you might know about this. Was that I don't know if you knew about this or not, but the thing of it was that when they released 90210 on DVD, or if you watch it on streaming, the music on it is all different from when it originally aired. And it would, like you said, the music, you got to get the rights, and they didn't want to.
I would imagine. I imagine if that scene's on YouTube, they would probably take the song away too.
And all of the new stuff on there is terrible compared to the original. The original fit the thing. So, but hey, you know what? That's another episode of Passion Supernatural Podcast. We just went through people. That's right. We made it. We made it through. We had our fourth, if you're the other person we just had the other day, but third celebrity guest on here, everybody. So again, everybody, thank you for tuning in. All of you out there who are Passions fans and all, as I say every weekend, everybody out there watching, if you are a fan or anything like that, if you wish to appear on the show or whatever, just like and subscribe, leave your name, your social media you have. I hope I'm pointing down there to that right area, or whatever, right down there below us. Just leave your name in the social media you have, either me or Casey. We are bound to reach out to you. We would love to have you on here. We would love to hear about your experience with Passions. And once again, just like we had Christopher here today, we are going to get more. So please, people, don't give up on us. If any of you out there have ways of getting in contact with these people, please reach out to us. Help us out. It's just going to be a while. I mean, Casey here is still trying with Eva. I'm still trying with Dylan. We're trying all these different people. Just don't give up on us. We will have more people on here. And as I said about Don and Danny, and I'll now say this for Christopher, just because you've appeared on here once doesn't mean we won't ask you again sometime in the future. If we really need the people, we'll approach you. But thank you all for tuning in. Please watch us again the following Sunday, same time, 2 o'clock, only on YouTube. Until then, I'm Joe Velasquez.
And Casey Metcalf.
And just remember, everybody, you are our passion for life. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. All right.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you guys.